Just like that.
Hi, welcome to the news. On today.
Wrong day. Wrong day. It's not Friday. I mean, I wish it was Friday. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's Friday. I'm tired already. Jesus. Ready for a nap. I mean, you know, it's funny you say that. It's like ready for a nap, but the reality is it's like, you know, you can go home and go to bed. But
you can't.
That's not gonna happen.
No. It's like you get home and it's like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do that.
So obviously, I love you guys chiming in the comments beforehand because we sit here and read them while we're waiting for the show to start. And some people would say, well, why don't you just start the show? Well, because it's structured the way it's supposed to be so that...
You gotta be 6:30, man.
We don't waste anybody's time.
Yeah.
But, gesture, in the future, we'll all have internal DACs. No speakers needed. We hear it all in our heads. The docking station, though, might be a bit awkward. And the two things. One, I saw a funny meme or a little video this weekend where, you know, the current state of yoga pants is to go all the way up the butt crack.
Okay.
And so someone, like, jammed their phone into this chick's butt crack, and I was like, gross, but whatever. Guess that's why you make handy wipes. And secondly, more to the point, if we were ever to the point to where we had speakers automatically wired in our heads, it would just be some form of wireless communication. I don't think we'd have to dock anything. I mean, the whole thing is that we're getting to a point to where we don't want to carry anything with us. Like, I don't want to carry car keys. I barely want to carry my phone. I mean, I'm longing for the day where I can just go like this and the little screen pops up and I can see what I need to see.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's...
Yeah. Have you iWatch or you Android Watch?
And the funny thing is if you sit there and you're like, oh, that'll never happen. Well, I mean, back in my time, back in my day, we had Dick Tracy that flew around in a trash can and talked on his watch. Yeah. We got two of those things. I mean, sorry, we got one of those things.
Well, we
talked to our watch.
You know,
I'm sure there's a trash can that flies somewhere, but I'm pretty sure they're keeping us out of the air on purpose because we can't manage to figure out how to drive on the ground. Could you imagine driving in the air?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Where, I mean,
so many crashes.
It's just a car fell on top of so and so. I mean, it's like, so. Yeah. I think it could happen. I'm pretty sure there's flying trash. I mean, those guys with the cool little robot arm. You know, they do the whole little flying thing. They have the jet hands.
Yeah.
I think those are pretty cool. I think that would get fatiguing after a while.
Well, you know, they have that in the water.
There again, I feel that
jets,
would get fatiguing for.
Yes, a lot of.
I don't have a flying trash. I would love to have a flying trash can. I'd love to have a piece of pizza right now, Dave. Every time it's just like I want pizza. So it's okay. I just had my Vibrant V Alphas delivered now. I'm trying to figure out how to get them on. Dude, Vibram had a killer deal. For those of you, those are the five-toe silly foot gloves that I wear. They had a killer deal for Black Friday. I bought 4 pair, I think, 4 or 5 pair. I don't know.
Yeah,
they were half
crazy.
off. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, I had to because they're half off, and I need some for work. So
yeah.
Because this pair is about ready to get tired. What's going on, Ada? You'll never guess what I'm doing again. I mean, I probably could.
Fabrication.
I mean, you're destroying a car. You're customizing a car. I don't know. Flying cars or helicopters.
Oh.
Yes, basically, yeah, and like fall right out of the sky. I mean, I like the ones like where they have like 6 props. I don't know. There's just people are too stupid.
So is this guy on YouTube? He made like a big drone.
Yeah.
Like he goes on top of it, and it's huge, and he actually flies.
Well, you remember Casey went snowboarding off of the drone, and for Christmas
that was
year.
Great. That
awesome.
was a great video.
I just feel people. You know, the reality is not all of you. Like you guys are clearly not. Like you guys know, but I mean, think about. Remember Tom. Think of Tom. Tom is, just Tom is the guy that, and Tom could be anybody, but he's the guy that like blames the curb for him falling. You know, dude, that damn curb right there, that's why I fell. Yeah. No, Tom wasn't paying attention. But that's, and so Tom would be the guy that hurts himself in these things and go, dude, you weren't, That's why we're having a hard time with self-driving cars, because nobody wants to pay attention. It's when, yeah.
That's what we need self-driving cars, so they can...
THX 1138. Just look it up. That's the society right there. That's what we need in order to get all the cool things we want. And then when we get them, we can't enjoy them. But hey guys, welcome to the show.
What's up?
Exactly. The tree jumped in front of me. I was doing just fine, but then, Lord of the Rings style, the trees came to life and got right in front of me.
That's it.
It's the damnedest thing you ever saw. Damnedest thing. That dog didn't bite me. I bit that dog. Yep. Yep. Have you mixed the plastic wrong? You have
what
mixed
do you mean?
You have mixed the plastic wrong. No idea. Hold on. What does it say? We can't park our cars without driving our cars through a Starbucks. Exactly.
Oh, dude, talking about Starbucks. Yesterday, I saw this video. What's his name? Ant-Man?
Ant-Man knows audio?
No. They actually...
Ant-Man. Yeah.
I don't know what's his name.
Yeah. I was going to say.
And he goes and he's like, can I get a coffee? Grande. Large coffee. And the lady's like,
keep talking.
You want a venti?
Just...
and he's like, no, I want a large coffee. And the lady behind it says, no, he meant a venti. He wants a venti. And they said, venti is the biggest coffee that we have. And he's like, no. Venti doesn't mean large at all. Large is large. And dude, that's hilarious. I was laughing because it's like, now you stupid in 3 different languages.
Exactly. Let's see. Alfreger asks, wire strippers, cable cutter recommendations for my Christmas list. Can you grab the ones that Oscar sent us? Because I really like those. I mean, okay. So for those of you guys that are new or recent, and you don't understand the total tooling that we do. Which you can have DNF tool drawer. The reason why we have DNF tool drawer is so that we list most of the tools that we use. If they make it onto that list, that means they've been vetted by us. We use them every day, and those are the tools that we've come to agree with. Now, when it comes to wire strippers, those top 2 right there in the top left, the 2 pairs that we have there, those are our go-to. So one is like a Klein and the other one is a vice grip.
I just like the strippers, not the wire.
Yeah, exactly. We use both of those. I buy an equal amount of both of them. Neither one of them is any better than the other. Pick up whichever one is priced the best and rock it. Now, as far as wire cutters go, these aren't on the list because we haven't updated it. Oscar sent us these.
Yes.
And these are Nip-X. These are the Nip-X wire cable cutters.
Those are badass.
These are the best. And I mean, these are the best. We have everybody's cable cutters. Everybody's. I got 4 different pairs. And these guys win. These guys are badass. You have 2 different cutting areas. These will cut through 0 gauge like just a hot knife through butter. Everybody loves that analogy. But Nip-X for cutters. Nip-X also makes a really nice set of flush cutters too. Mm-hmm. So and they're proud of their stuff. I'll tell you right now, they're proud of their stuff.
What's up?
Pronounce. I'm just saying it how it's spelled so that it's easy to find. So it's spelled K-N-I-P-E-X. So.
K-N. Yeah,
K-N,
you got it.
P-E-X.
It's a German quality. There you go.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Sure. All I know is they make. Where'd it go? I love it when I. Yeah, there you go. XX, my brand, German engineering. Yeah,
there you go.
No,
that's why I like it.
These are pretty badass. Oh yeah, made in Germany, right there. See. Do not cut steel. These are the 20mm version.
Try me.
Part number on these is 9511-200.
Okay, they can go to the website and find it.
I know. I'm just saying. Those are badass, and this is not a paid for ad for nip
totally.
X.
No.
However, what it is paid for at is audio control. That's right. This portion of the show, the newest portion of the show, is brought to you by audio control. Now, how this is going to happen is I'm going to say something cool about audio control, and then we're going to slide over and I'm going to show you something cool for the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club, the winner of the week. But for right now, let me just go over here. The new ACX amplifiers that we've been talking about now for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months are available. So if you are looking for an all-weather, badass, hermetic, just I'm going to say hermetically sealed, but just a monster of an amplifier, if you're going to be putting it in a place where amplifiers just don't belong, now we have the 601, the 606, the 605, and also the 300.2. And you can find out all the information about these at audiocontrol.com. So thank you so much, Audio Control, for being a proud sponsor of the show. One of our longest running sponsors.
Yes.
So that's just pretty cool. And then also, every week, Fernando scours the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club, which is, I know, our page. Who knew? And I get emails all the time from our boy Clint telling us, like, holy crap, we're at like 90,000 fans, and it's pretty awesome.
It is
but
pretty awesome.
Let's go back to here. Who's our guy this week?
Our guy is Eduardo. Eduardo made that one.
Eduardo made that one?
Yeah. It is really cool. You know, I have to crop it because that was like kind of weird angle.
Yeah.
But if you go and click it,
yeah,
you will see the whole thing and everything.
Really?
But no.
See,
like,
I'm not clicking
and his post.
Oh, you gotta
Yes.
click his post. Oh.
His post.
He did a really cool job on
Yes.
this. Stinger, Moscone Pros, of course. You know, your favorite, my favorite. Awesome amplifiers. He did a really bang up job. Yeah, I think it was cool.
Yeah.
As always, if you would like your clean wire picture to be featured in the picture of the week, make sure to submit it. Fernando digs through those. Also, you know, I know this is going to sound strange, but for those of you guys that didn't know this, MasterTech Expo is doing a clean wire challenge, and it's sponsored. We're the guys running it. I know this is hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
And so this is it right here, MasterTech Clean Wire Expo. You can scroll down through the page. It's brought to you by AMP, HKI, Orca, Electromedia, and First Tech. There's a bunch of information right here that is on the page if you'd like to learn some of the rules and whatnot. But how do you enter is the question that most people want to know. It's really simple. All you have to do to enter for a chance to go to MasterTech Expo. So how it works is you're going to get into MasterTech Expo. The $800 fee to get in is going to be waived. The only thing you have to pay for is your hotel and your flight out to Mesa, Arizona. But you'll get an opportunity to compete, and the prizes are amazing. You actually get to keep what you wire, which is I'm not going to tell you guys yet because we're not there, but let's just say it's worthy of, I mean...
Yeah, it is really cool.
This is going to be badass. If you'd like to enter to compete, for us to consider you, all you have to do is email us at the usual dandfchristmas@yahoo.com. That is dandfchristmas@yahoo.com. I'm having a hard time with that tonight, apparently.
no kidding.
Send us pictures of your clean wiring. That's it. All you got to do. Send us pictures of your clean wiring, and you automatically will be in the running to get picked. There's 8 people that are getting picked, so it's pretty badass. You know, there's no reason why you shouldn't enter. If you're a member of the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club and you've made it to the top, or you've gotten close to the top, enter. Okay, enough of that.
Yeah?
Give me some stuff. Give me some questions, Fernando.
All right.
What's up, Scott?
Hang on. The first one I'm going to do...
Yeah, go for it. Take time.
I'm going to do this one right there. Thank you, man. Thank you for the 10.
Thank you so much. Install the Kenwood 9907 in a 209 town car, all factory with Crutchfield kit. Now has a bad amp hum. What is the problem? 2009 Crown. So I'm guessing it's a town car, so it must have had the factory amplified system in it.
In the back?
Yeah, if it did, there is a secondary ground wire on that plug. There should have been a secondary ground wire on that plug that has to be grounded. It's like a black with a white stripe. If that doesn't get grounded, then you get noise. The second thing that you could also look at too is if you grounded that wire and you still have noise, then if you did use RCAs, you may need noise filters like the S&I ones that PAC makes. Sometimes you need those, but that's really about it. It's a Ford. It's pretty straightforward. So it's either the ground wire didn't get grounded, that's the shield wire for the amplifier. And now if you got a plug that was not RCA, it's not going to have that ground wire. That would also cause the problem. So if they just sent you a basic harness. Quick question. I have a 2011 Nissan King Cab Morel coax 6x9s in the front door and the Morel 6.5 components in the rear. Where would you mount that tweeter and crossover? So it's a component set, which really that component set would go up front, and the tweeter would get mounted into the little 2.5-inch spot, and the 6.5 would go on the bottom where you have your 6x9. And the crossover would go between it. What you're asking to do kind of doesn't really work out all that well, but I mean, the reality is if you're going to put the 6x9 in the front door, you could still put the tweeter in the top of the dash, and you could still put the 6.5 in the rear door. You're just going to have to put the crossover between them. So, you know, you could probably put it somewhere up front, and then, I mean, you have the wiring going into the door from the radio, so if you take your output source, go into the crossover, the mid bass that's in the rear then feeds into the green and purple harness that you bought. Or if it doesn't, it feeds into the rear speaker wires, and then you'd run wires up to the tweeters out of the crossover. So, hope that helps. Hi guys, have you guys ever installed Android head units? What do you think about them? I'm about to install an Avalon. Don't like them. Don't like them. Haven't found one that doesn't suck. When that was all the rage when it first came out, we looked at it. Obviously, in the industry forums, it's nothing but bad. There are some guys that have had great luck, but that's not the norm. And the thing is like for us, I don't want a boomerang. So we, you know, when you look at how many head units we sell on an annual basis, 1, 2 Android head units, you know, or if we have to sell 100 and it causes a problem, there isn't any out there that we've worked with that we've liked so far. So we just stay away from them. That's really what it comes down to, because I don't have time for services. So that's it. If you can find one that you like and it works, awesome. Most of the time, the problem that most people have with them is that they lock up. Like if you're using one that's smart and has to integrate with the car, it typically locks up. And of course, the biggest problem is that they sound bad because they don't have a real good preamp section. So, like if you're trying to use one as a system builder, yeah. Hello, Dean from AV, original installer out of JJ's garage in his dad's house. Oh, Scott. What's up, man? It's Scott. Scott, we were just talking about him last week. Congrats on your success. Stumbled upon your channel while surfing YouTube for a 2023 F-150 build. No problem, buddy. Hey, if you're ever back in Florida, right across the street from Hooters, stop in, say hi. I'd love to catch up with you, man. Oh, no, wait, this is Scott Moreland. Oh, it's the other Scott. There was 2 Scotts, so this is the first Scott. I think okay. Well, you're still in Florida then. Stop by sometime, man. Say hi. I'd love to catch up with you. So this is, yeah, it's 2 Scotts.
There you go.
I know. Sorry, just twist my head. I've heard you guys going
to be at an event in Fort Smith, Arkansas, in February.
True or false?
True. I think it's false.
I think it's false too.
In Arkansas.
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, they invite me?
February. Don't know anything about that.
We can't.
No.
Because
Why?
we're going to a Knowledge Fest.
There'll be a Knowledge Fest in February. That's in Vegas. That's at the beginning. I don't know anything about this. If somebody said this, they haven't actually invited us. So the answer right now would be false.
Right now.
As of right now, the answer is false.
Yeah. If
it changes, I'll let you know. Kia Optima 2014 stock stereo with Focal PS 165 FE. Yeah, okay, front. Focal PC. Okay, rear with Rockford Fosgate T1005 and a JL12 TW. Yeah, okay. Do you need any other equipment besides the cables? Okay, so if it's a base model stock stereo, then the T1005X5AD, is that the full size or the little one? I think that's the micro. I think that's the tiny guy. Check that out real quick because I want to make sure. So that's the important part, is if it is a T1005X5AD. I was gonna say this isn't tough, man. You could have typed it right in there.
T1005
X right there. Click on it.
XD.
Okay, so it is the mini one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that amplifier has high level input. If your factory radio just has the 4 basic outputs, just front and rear, then you're going to hook that amplifier up to the factory radio via high level. That amp can do that, so you won't need anything other than speaker wire in, speaker wire out, and power wire. So yeah, no, that's really all you're going to need for that. Yeah. Quick disconnect for average amp speaker terminals. What, do you need some? What quick disconnect for average? I mean, we use bullet connectors. So we get just bullet connectors that are just like a male and female bullet that just clip in. Pretty reasonable. You can buy them by 100 count. Yeah, they work great. If you want something more elaborate, you could check out the the XC 10, 15, or 30 plugs off Amazon. But
yeah,
you're just spending money at that point. Hi, Jared. How are
buddy.
you? You two are still coming to my house for Christmas thoughts, right? I mean, I would love to,
yes,
but
yes.
That
would be great.
That would not be Haley approved.
Dude, that would be cool.
What, to go to his house for Christmas?
Oh,
Can't we
are you
just go to his
kidding me?
house like in February? I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
No, March, April. I don't
March.
know. March. We can go
It's
in March.
March.
Let's just hang out in March. Let's do
Yeah.
some fun stuff in March.
Yeah, I want to see the garage.
Oh yeah,
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I like how he's got Chewie and Princess, and he's wearing a Bucky's outfit. That was so much
Oh,
fun.
dude, that was awesome. That day, that was great.
Come by at Master Tech.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you're going to be there. Scott!
What's up?
Why does my Kenwood deck stop getting louder after 24 on the volume? Low level RCAs to all my amps. It only has 4-volt pre-outs. That's kind of weird because it shouldn't do that. That sounds like a really kind of like a gain thing, maybe? Which I figured you'd have your gain down low. Alright, so how do we test this? How do we see what's going on after volume 24? Really, that's what we need to do. We need to find out what's happening past volume 24 to see if there is, in fact, a problem. So let's not guess. Let's figure it out. So the easiest way to do that, digital multimeter, pink noise in the radio, because all we're trying to do is a basic voltage test. We don't need to do extreme. Set it to AC current, ground, shield, RCA. Have the wifey turn, or whoever, turn the volume up. Get it to 24, get a reading, and go up past 24 all the way up to whatever, 38, 39, and see what the voltage
40,
differential is, 40, and see what's happening. Now, you're going to get a low voltage on it because it's not... Pink noise isn't going to max it out to 4 volt or 5 volt. It's not going to do that. That would just be a test tone, but we don't need a test tone to do this. We just need to see what the voltage difference is between 24 and 40. And then we have to figure out, okay, where are the gains set on the amplifier to where it might be that. It might be like you're tapped out. You've overloaded the input of the amplifier. It might not be clipping. Some amps don't. But that's where I would be first. Is I'd be like, how much? What is the voltage difference? And see what's happening. So, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got next?
All right.
I installed the Alpine ILX50, and now
I can't hear the bass.
I can't hear the bass.
Yeah.
first things first, regardless of what is wrong with it, it's an ILX W650. It immediately is going to need a software update. So the first thing you need to do is do the software update, because we can't really troubleshoot the radio until you've done the software update. That is the most important thing. Every ILX W650 does not come up to date. It comes very not up to date. So you have to update that. Secondly, I can't hear the bass. Depends on what it's in. So not knowing any of the other criteria, you might. I'm not even going to pretend to guess, because there's too many variables after that.
The only thing comes in my mind is if you already have an amplifier, you know,
well,
and install that.
Who knows?
Maybe you plug it into the wrong
RCAs. Put it into a
RCAs.
factory radio and it had an external subwoofer input. And we didn't do that. So I mean, there's like a million things it could be.
Yeah.
But you have to do a software update on that immediately, because it's just. Do you guys install motorcycles? We don't. However, we have a good friend of ours just down the street that does.
Yeah.
Our buddy Aaron at Havoc Motorsports is right around the corner, and he does the motorcycles for us. So that's his job. Need help replacing the OEM stereo on an 04 Infiniti G35. Sent y'all emails, and VM car choice here at won't touch it. What year's yours?
Mine is a 2004.
Oh, so it's the same thing. We got like
What do you have?
2 or 3 videos on this.
Yes. Yeah, and the car stereo lab.
Okay, so the reality. Okay, so Metra makes a kit. It's kind of ugly, but it's the kit that's available. It's the Scosche kit is the sexiest, but it's hard to come by. The problem with the car is the top gauge cluster where the clock is going to shatter in a million pieces as soon as you touch it. That's why most people don't want anything to do with it. The little silver pieces that go across the dash are going to crack in half when you go to pull those out, and all the little fingers are going to disintegrate.
Right, yeah.
And if the dash already doesn't put your fingerprint on it every time you touch it, it definitely will by the time you're done with it. That's why no one really wants to deal with it. As far as that goes, integrating-wise, it's super simple. As far as like whether it's Bose, non-Bose, piece of cake.
Yeah.
Removing it is a whole nother thing, because you have to start by removing your floorboards, your floor rails, your kick panels, your whole glove box has to come out, the armrest has to come out. I'm sorry, not the armrest, but the gear shifter cover has to come out.
Yeah.
The panel underneath the steering column has to come off. The side panels where your little pockets and cigarette lighters, those have to come off. The gauge or the little clock cluster in the top has to come out. There's a screw there. And then there's screws in the bottom. There's only like 3 or 4 screws actually holding the radio itself in, and then that whole piece comes out and disconnects. And you have to be real careful when you're pulling it out, because up in the top, that top screw, when it comes out, it wants to nick the dash when it comes out, so you scratch the dash. So you got to be careful about that. You kind of got to do one of these things, pull down and then come out. But yeah, I mean, we have a couple videos on this. We have it with navigation. We have a video how to do it with navigation if it's got the factory screen that comes up. Not retaining it, of course, because that'll never happen. But yeah, it's
doable.
Yeah, it's doable. It's just plan on buying parts for the car or just having broken pieces.
And I know
when
you're probably
done.
gonna say, no, it looks perfectly fine. There's no cracks. There's no nothing.
There will be
the
when
problem
it's
is
done.
like in the center where the clock is.
Yeah.
Right there. It's
hard to get out, and like that dash just it sucks. And like just trying to get it out, like with the pry tool, like mars the dash. So yeah. I was mad the audio control wouldn't tell me when they were going to release them ACX amps. Even asked if I should wait a few weeks. They wouldn't say order 2 ACMs. Then of course the next week releases the ACX.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, because
yeah,
they might not have known. The guys that answered the phones might not have known, because that's like above their pay grade. So I mean, if I'm looking at it, is that they probably didn't know when they were coming out, and they only got they got a small order of each, because they air freighted in a small order of them, because the rest of it is going to be coming on the slow boat. So. And speaking of that, thank you, Audio Control, for being a proud sponsor of the show. On to the next one. I'm thinking of going. I want to do Gladen. Gladen. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, people who subscribe to Spotify are at
High brain, big brain energy.
Oh, for sure. All right, hold on. Let me scroll down here. Where's it at? Right. No, not there.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for this one. Here we go. Hey guys, are you interested in premium sound treatment for your car? Well, if you are, ResonXSolutions.com is the place to head. Not only do they do premium sound treatment, they do one other thing that is pretty cool that I've been asked to talk to you about, and that is remote tuning. I know what you're saying. Wait, what? And I would agree with you. However, one of the premium features that they offer is this. You can go to ResonXSolutions.com, go to the main homepage, and click on the remote tuning, and there it will give you a general idea of how much it costs, description, and how it works. If this is something you're interested in, I strongly recommend heading over to the page and just digging into how he actually does it.
Now, clicking where it says additional information. It's just you have to get all the information as possible.
Yeah, these are what he can. These are the brands he works with. So,
okay.
Make sure you read that. If that's something you're interested in, give Nick a call, and he will take care of you. And or just click on the website and do that. Thank you, Nick, for that. We'll leave that up for a couple minutes. Hey, Marty, what's happening? All right, next question.
All right. Okay.
So hold on. I want to do that one. Okay. 2015 Accord Sport factory head unit. Want to install Focal P165s in the door, auditors in the rear, amp recommendations for 4-channel entry level, Focal AP4. Yeah, that's fine. This kind of dovetails into the next question I want to answer, but no, that amplifier will work. And that leads into this question here. Other than physical size, what are the benefits, differences to small micro amps, full-sized amps? Yeah, it's size. It's physical size. When you get into a micro amplifier, you're 100% trying to make the amplifier fit someplace it can't go, or fit in a place that is really small. Cars are getting harder and harder to pack big amps into, so microamps are pretty cool. This goes back to the Honda question. There's only so much room in that car for product, so keep that in mind when trying to put something in the car. Is that there's room in the trunk, there's also room underneath the seats if you want to hide it so people can't get to it. In that case, you want to make sure it fits. The biggest footprint amplifier we can typically fit underneath the seat, just as a reference point, so you can figure out how big that is we'll put the audio control D5-1300 fits underneath that seat. So if your amplifier is about that size, keep in mind what makes that amplifier unique is the wire goes forward and not out to the sides. That's important because if you get an amplifier where the wires come out left and right out of the ends, that adds length to the amplifier and sometimes becomes harder to mount. For example, if we are doing the Rockford Mini T power amplifiers in a Honda Accord, we'll typically mount those in the rear of the vehicle on the side panel, unless we're doing the smaller ones like the 200.4 and the 400.4 or the 750.1. If we have to do the big 5-channel, that's got to go in the trunk because the wires come out of the end. It's too long, it won't fit underneath the seat. But the benefits is size, 100% size. In some cases, you also, there again, it should be a situation where like a 500 watt amp draws the same amount of current. There's no magic there, but when you look at a lot of these small amplifiers, they do sometimes take smaller power runs into the amplifier, which can be cool. Like a Key 501 takes an 8 gauge. There again, if you buy like a 400 watt amp that has an 4 gauge onto it, you're tempted to run a 4 gauge to it when it really doesn't need it unless it's 22 feet away from the battery. Whereas sometimes with these smaller amplifiers, you're forced to run the size wire that you actually have to run. That's not to say that you can't just go to a power distribution block and put a bigger wire in it and call it a day. But yeah, listen, amplifiers are tools, and the tool has to fit the right thing. So that's it.
All right. So this question is for Jared. If Jared's still here.
Probably not.
But No, I don't think so. I don't think this one is
I thought it was
it's
I
compatible.
thought it was the 8001 or whatever.
Right.
I think the newer version of it was Maestro.
Yeah, because I was just checking, and I don't see any capability on that.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
No.
So.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Nope, that's a negative. Retirement for Dean. DIY Zoom assisted video calls. Possible future. Dean sits and looks at computers and takes Zoom calls. Yells throughout the process at the DIY guy. Worth watching. For Nick's remote tuning, you will need to buy a USB measurement microphone for $100 and have a Windows PC laptop Room EQ Wizard program installed.
There you go.
There you go.
See, I mean, it sounds great.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you need.
I mean, hey, if that's if it's something you want to do, then you know, it's pretty neat.
There you go.
2022 Ford F-150. If I want to adjust, if I want just a sub, do I have to use no? Or can I use an LC2i Pro, or is there an amp that I can use without a line output converter? Okay, so Nav TV A to B piece is only for the Bang & Olufsen system. If you have a Bang & Olufsen system, if you're going... Okay, so the BO system is what the A to B has nothing to do with BO, nothing to do, it's just the software. Anyways, the Nav TV piece is only for the BO system. If you have the BO system, it's a full swap out, meaning the factory amplifier comes out, this goes in, you have to amplify everything. If you have a BO system and you want to add a subwoofer, you actually grab the front speakers. The one of the 6x9s in the front door is what you use for the subwoofer. And you can just use an LC1i Pro. You don't need an LC2i Pro. However, there are amplifiers, any one of the audio control amplifiers have the LC built into it. So if you buy the LC 1.800, has everything you need. If you buy the now keep in mind, if you have just the base model F-150, most amplifiers now have high-level capabilities built into them that you can just high-level right into it and call it a day. You do have to look at the output voltage. If it is a BO system, I would probably go for something that has 20 volts of input. We've put a key 501 in there if you're just looking to do like 110. It just depends on how much amplifier you want. But the audio control has everything built into it. But there again, a lot of them do. The mini Rockford T's have high-level input like we talked about earlier. If you just have a base model 2022 Ford F-150, that'll work fine because it's under 10 volts of output coming out of that radio. So most amplifiers that have high-level input have at least 10 or 11 volts that they'll take from a factory radio into the amplifier, which is plenty. Yeah, plenty. So hope that answers that question. But yeah, no. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, Glade and Moscone. Just go there. It's all amazing stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. We had that picture earlier where we were talking about the pros, Moscone Pros. Just go look at the Moscone Pros.
And
just like, you know, drool and take them in. I mean, it's a benchmark amplifier for sure. You mentioned in a previous video that you were going to put out an update install for the High 10 in a Jeep. I would like to see the improved wire management you mentioned. As would I. And we did film it, and it is in the archive, meaning it is going to be out here someday soon.
It is done. I mean,
it's done. We filmed it.
It's just time to.
So here's what's going on in the month of December as far as the time frame that we have left for video content to put out on the channel. The 12 Days of Christmas starts on December 10th, meaning on December 10th, we're going to start giving away free stuff every day of the week until Christmas Eve. The last day will be Christmas Eve, I believe.
Before.
The day before
23rd,
Christmas
I
Eve.
think.
So the last day will be the 23rd. We're gonna give away products that we can't talk about yet because we want you to be surprised. So every day, that whole week, 12 days, it's just going to be videos about the stuff we're giving away. that's this Saturday is when that starts. Now, between now and this Saturday, I have to get done a video for Installer of the Year. And that kind of crushes my hopes and expectations of releasing the Jeep video the way I want to. Now, after Christmas is New Year's. So the week between Christmas and New Year's, we typically take off of the channel because, man, we're just tired after doing the 12 days of Christmas, and we kind of need to decompress. Sometimes we take the first week of the year off altogether. So the reality is that video you probably won't see until the first week or second week of January. It's just how the cards are going to fall between now and then. I would love to get it up sooner than that. Like, it's literally sitting in my bag over there waiting to be edited, and it's like it was really a pain in the ass to make that video. So to get it out would be wonderful. But it's gonna be, we have a lot of other, it's just not good. It's not good. We're jammed packed here, plus all the work that we have to do otherwise. So it's coming, but just, full disclosure, this is our life, this is what we're doing, this is what we're trying to make sure. But I think giving you guys cool free stuff from manufacturers is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So can we just hopefully concentrate on that one? Yeah. Here we go. Dude, I'm screwed. I have the retailer video and this Sony build. Too crazy. Hey, man, welcome to our world. Now you know how it is to be Dean. Clayton is the most awesome, but aerospace is the best.
Look who it is. Anthony.
Hey, Anthony, what's happening, man?
What's happening? All right.
No, it's funny. Yeah, he's a big aerospace speaker guy. Like, he loves that stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah. One of the S2000s had a full aerospace system in it.
I think that was the S2000.
Well, that's why I said one of them. Mm-hmm. When tuning an active three-way front stage with an 8-inch driver, do you tune them to hit hard like subwoofers or more like mid-bass? Fernando would like them to hit as hard as humanly possible. The reality is it's still a mid-bass driver and not a subwoofer.
Right. So
you have to keep that in mind when tuning it. It will play mid-bass, it will play down low. However, it is still just a mid-bass, moving more air than a 6.5. So you still have to treat it like a 6.5, and you still have to treat it like a mid-bass, because keep in mind you have a subwoofer in the trunk that's still a subwoofer. So the real trick is to blend the subwoofer with that mid-bass so that you get a nice transition from sub to mid-bass. And that is the most important thing. Okay, so keep that in mind when tuning it. It's just that transition between sub in the back, mid-bass in the door, so that you keep that nice, smooth bass response between them. You want it to play low and hit hard, totally get it. And it has higher power handling, so hopefully you're putting more power to it. And those things will make it do the things that it's supposed to do. But it's still just a mid-bass, not a subwoofer. So let it do mid-bassy things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I want free cool stuff, right? Who doesn't?
Yes, exactly.
Is there a way to add navigation to a factory touchscreen stereo that didn't come with it? Okay, so there's a company that we use called RVDFL.com. RVDFL.com. And what they do is if you have a factory touchscreen, they make Android Auto and Apple CarPlay interfaces for the radios. And what that allows you to do is get your navigation from your phone, which is way better, into your factory radio. It's made to work in cars that didn't come with it. So, yeah, that would be how we would try to tackle that. They used to make, there was other companies that used to make, Nav TV, used to make standalone navigation.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
they just don't do that anymore.
They don't have it anymore?
No, not anymore. Really? No, because there's no market for it. There's no market. Why? Why would you want to buy some out-of-date navigation system?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's up, Gary?
What's up, man? That's a cool logo.
It's a cool logo. All right.
Is there any way to install a sound system in the new model 2019 Silverado ZL1 full-size truck? Yeah.
No problem. Can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's 2019. Go to town, man.
Yep.
If it's got the factory Bose system in it, no big deal. Metra makes an adapter now for the Bose system.
Yeah.
So depending on if it's a classic or not a classic, so if it's the newer Dash, then Metro makes the interface for Bose. If it's the older Dash, PEC makes the Amp Pro for Bose, or regular, because the older one didn't matter whether it was Bose or non-Bose. But I think that only goes up like 2018, which is, I don't remember. Anyways,
No.
pack-audio.com or metraonline.com are the two places where you can go to find the corresponding. If they make an Amp Pro, you buy the Amp Pro. If they don't, then you go buy the Metra piece. If it's just a base model F-150 and they don't make anything, like it's not Bose or whatnot, just make sure if you're going to do the installation that you get a DSP. The DSP will be so that you need to be able to control the sound, specifically that chime. So the DSP will give you the ability to go in and do a notch filter on the chime that goes boom, because anytime you amplify that, it goes crazy. So you're going to want a DSP of some kind, one either built in or one not. Now when you do like the Amp Pro or the Metro piece, it takes care of all that for you. I need a Zen A to B for 2021 Raptor with BO system. Yes. Don't know what to go with for my 2016 F-150. What are the odds? Another F-150. I have Hertz Milli Pros and a 82 C10 and like it, but heard DS18 speakers and now I'm confused. Sounds like a bad high school moment. On what to put in the F-150, I want to know your thoughts on DS18 door speakers. Okay, so a DS18 is typically what we consider a loudspeaker, meaning they are just whereas your Hertz is a typical speaker, meaning it's got mid-range, mid-bass, designed to sound musically good. If you're trying to build a system for the F-150 that is just like yelling at you, which a lot of people like, don't get me wrong, then yeah, DS18 isn't a bad way to go. You could also look at like Rockford makes, they make their loud series line, and Hertz makes SPL Show, which way nicer, which you'll see in the price. You'll be like, oh yeah, damn. But no, if you like the Hertz, they make the SPL Show line of speakers, which is very similar to like what your DS18 that you're looking at there. So
Correct.
yes, you could stick with the Hertz and just go with the better SPL Show. And then you also have, if you want to get really, you could check out the Ground Zero stuff also in their SPL line. So yeah, there again, it's a different sound. So it's not the same. So like it's going to be loud and in your face, and if that's what you want to build,
I'm still dying for those.
Well, the hard part about it is going to be the tweeter. There's not a lot of room for that type of tweeter in that vehicle because it's a small tweeter that goes in the top. You know, a compromise to all of this would be going with the Rockford T2 components because it's a very loud metal tweeter that'll fit up in the dash, and it gives you that like really loud, obnoxious yeah. But it fits in conventional locations. So maybe check out the Rockford T2 also.
So it's Fang of the Truth birthday. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
All right.
What else can I use instead of a Zen A to B? Mobridge makes a piece for A to B. PAC has their piece, but it's very hard to get your hands on one of them. And then metraonline.com also makes an interface. So there's 4 companies now that make A to B interfaces for that vehicle. But you have to have some form of an A to B interface in order to integrate into that properly.
All right.
Okay. Will the Maximo Ultra 602 HE components fare well in the 2000 Bronco? The amp will be the JLVXI
7.5i. Yeah.
Okay, so it's mid-bass down in the bottom of the door, and it's a 4-inch in the top of the dash. This is one of those trucks where it's like, I almost don't know if I would do that. This is like, yes, it would work, but you have a tweeter really up high where a lot of the sound is coming from, and then that 6.5 down in the bottom of the door. And we know the 6.5 down in the bottom of the door really doesn't do a ton of like boomity boom stuff. Like it's not, because there's not a lot of air cavity back there for it. So everyone always complains about that. I think you need to be looking at a higher end 4-inch coaxial for the top of the dash.
Okay.
Because that is the most important speaker in the car. So it's just like a Jeep, where if you put a tweeter in the top of the dash, it's okay. But when we do a 3.5 with a tweeter up there, it typically sounds more musical. So in this case, I think you need to look at like maybe the Morel 4-inch coaxial for the top. You can still get the HEs, just not use the tweeter, just put the mid bass down in the bottom of the door. I know this is one of those things where it's like the industry hasn't caught up with the parts that we actually need to do this.
Why not use the 602 and buy the Midler?
You could, but then you'd have to go and have a panel made to fit into the top of the dash.
I mean, you still have to have a panel made
not
for
to
the
fit
tweeter.
A 4. Not to fit a 4. No, because you don't. No.
He's going to put the tweeter
I understand
in the top.
that, but a 4-inch to a tweeter is not a panel. That's nothing. That's cut out a piece of plastic on the router. To put a tweeter and a 4-inch up there, you have to have a whole new panel built.
Yeah.
So you have to reach out to John, and have a whole new top grill piece made. So now we're getting into $1,000 for installation, as opposed to just get a 4-inch coaxial and a 6-inch mid bass for the bottom of the door. Okay, if he wants to spend $1,000 on grills, cool, go for it. That's I'm fine with that. I'm just, whatever option works for you.
Let's go.
But
expensive.
I'm looking at the Maximo Ultra 602 HEs, which is a $300 set of speakers, and that's really not $1,000 on a set of grills. Okay, I'm trying to keep it in the realm of doability here. Where you could pick up some Ultra 4-inch coaxials in the top of the dash.
How much are those?
There again, it's not $1,000. You could even just better yet, you can even just put the Ultra 4-inch coaxials in the top of the dash. Leave the factory 6.5. Put 4 sets of 4s in there. Leave the factory 6.5 for now. Put the amplifier in there. Go active front. Because a tweeter just isn't going to give you enough sound.
Yeah.
I mean, it may. It's not. It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. Okay. We argue like this all the time.
Oh,
by the way.
Every time.
We're gonna get dudes being mean to Fernando.
No, and I don't care. It's just not.
We don't always have to agree.
No, I don't.
What determines using a wide-range midler like a 2.5-inch Morel over using a tweeter that comes with a component set? Are they special use only? Special use only?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
Like using that, yes.
Back to the Bronco. MM2 in the top of the dash.
Yeah.
That would be like if you did an MM2 in the top of the dash and you did there again. This is outside of the $399 price point because I think the MM2 is probably $399. That's why I'm trying to max it up. But
yeah.
So when you look at the frequency, so for example, let's like a Chevy pickup truck. Chevy pickup truck has a middler in the dash.
What do we have in there?
In what?
That's the MM.
No, that is the 3.5 inch 200.
The 700.
Yeah, that's a dome mid range. The MM2 is a 2.5 inch. My point is that like if you look at like a Chevy pickup truck or a Camaro or something like that has a 2.5 inch driver in it, depending on how you like your music. So if you like a really sharp ass tweeter, you're never going to get that out of a middler. So going with what's his name? Camaro, where we put tweeters in the top of the dash. Sean's. When we did Sean's Camaro, he likes tweeter. So there was no way in the world we were putting a 2-inch middler in that because he would have been unhappy. So we went with a really metal tweeter in the top of the dash and a mid bass in the door. Sounded great.
Yeah.
However, if it was a normal person or somebody that doesn't necessarily need it to be super bright, then like that C2 from Kenwood up in the top of the dash has a pretty flat response all the way across. So like Brettel, yes, thank you, John Brettel, yes, but it's meshman.com. Or meshman.net, yeah.
Yes.
For the acrylic stuff like the new dash and the Bronco, that's meshman.net.
Yep.
Thank you. So I was trying. He was arguing with me, so I couldn't think. But anyways, So yes, most of the time it's a special type thing, or if you have room for a three-way. But when we tested them, the C2 from Kenwood and the was it the MM2? What is
MM2,
it?
yes.
The MM2 did the best, so I would get the Morel MM2, not the Middler. Remember, Fernando, when it comes to arguing with Dean, you have two choices. You can be right or you can be happy. Oh, no. It's totally, he can argue with me all he wants. I mean, I'll listen to him.
Dude,
and he'll listen to me.
We argue.
Oh, we argue all the time.
Constantly.
We just don't have the camera turned on for it.
Correct. That would be hilarious. That would be something that you guys will enjoy. Yeah.
Why?
Huh?
Why would they
I think
enjoy
so
that?
because it's like it's just like.
So that 2 weeks later when you come back in and go, hey, you were right. And I
Oh
go,
no! It happens constantly, but it still is good when we argue, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's like no, I think it's no.
Man, I haven't installed Image Dynamic in a long time, like a long time, like original stuff back in the day. Like I had the underdash horns, and I hated them. And I had the subwoofer with the 6.5 in the door, but we installed we did a ton of Image Dynamic subwoofers. Now they're owned by Powerbase. Oh, we got to get Jeff on this month. Ooh, forgot about that. Yeah, we got to get Jeff on.
That's right.
That's good. We might have to bump him to the first week of January.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyways, no, it was really cool stuff back in the day. Yes, Fang of Truth, Keeper of Time.
That's right.
About that time. It is about that time. Hold on. Hey guys, I got tired of blowing my multimeter internal fuse because I have been diagnosing an old school car and keep blowing them, so I just took a switch and a bulb and the fuse to make my own. I will share it tomorrow. Dude, yeah. Oh no, trust me, I feel your pain. I had to diagnose, Bobby had a boat and it blew the fuse, and so I ended up just running wires out and putting an old school fuse outside. It was just pissing me off.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christmas present idea for the zip ties.
You just have to open the drawer. It's plenty there, man.
Yeah, we're good. I'm good. But thank you. Thank you. Let me shut that off. Hey guys, that's the show. Thank you so much for playing along with us. A couple questions that people asked on the show.
Saludos, Mexico.
Let me go here. DNF Swag is a place you can go and find all the cool apparel that like you could possibly want. If you want to look nice and snazzy this winter, get yourself a Jeff Smith t-shirt, DNF, whatever. It's all here. I run DNF. You could get all that. As well as you guys ask about tools that we use. DNF Tool Drawer is a place to find it. There's the cool hand tool section where we list a lot of the tools that we use. Plastic pry tools, these are a must. We love these things. We use these daily. This curved one here, that's the bee's knees. And then of course, if you go back to here, if you're looking for the ultimate tool, the best gift to have this Christmas, that is the IRTA2. It's the electrical RTA measurement device that will make your life so much easier. A lot of the questions you guys ask, this tool will give you the answers to easily. Makes it so much easier. That way, as much as I love you guys asking the question, I would rather you guys did it on your own so that you can learn stuff and be like the guy. You need to be the guy. All you guys need to be the guy that people turn to. Be like, hey, how do you do this? Be like, boom, it's right here.
I have a 2-channel electrical RTA. Let me show you.
Let me show you. As far as the rest of the week goes, make sure you follow us on Instagram where you can keep up to date with what's happening in the install bay. And then Saturday we'll be back here doing this all over again and having a lot of fun doing it. I hope you guys enjoy the show as always.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
See ya. Do the fade to black right